What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In this video, Home Depot has just dropped their 2022 lineup, and I'm going to be going over it with the one and only Brick Thunder.
Hey guys.
Alright, are you ready for this, Brick?
I'm ready.
Let's jump straight into it. Okay, so we are going to start with the 8-foot smoldering Reaper of Souls. Now, for starters, his look is amazing. Like, he looks very detailed. I love the clothing and stuff like that. The coloring is amazing.
Yeah, overall this guy looks amazing, and he is servo, so good movement as well.
Oh yeah, servos are just the best now.
Yeah, this guy is totally awesome. He's 8 feet tall to the scythe, I believe. He's probably around 7.5 feet himself, so big prop as well. He's cool.
The scythe looks amazing. Like, that's the big selling point I feel for him. Well, besides servos, but like look-wise, the scythe really just ties him together.
Yeah, and he's similar to Inferno from last year, but the scythe just so much.
It's like an nice added touch to him.
Yeah, and price is $250, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's really also not too bad. Really not bad.
It's RyanzHaunt's birthday today.
No way. No way.
No
Happy
way.
birthday, Ryan.
Happy birthday to RyanzHauntz.
It's a crazy day. Next up, we have the 9.6-foot immortal werewolf. Now,
I love the name.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Hopefully he is immortal. Hopefully he lasts a while. He looks well. Most Home Depot is. But he's awesome. He's not a full 12 feet like a lot of people thought, but 10 feet is still big.
Oh yeah.
He looks awesome.
Yeah, his design. The plastic in certain lighting does seem a bit shiny, which is kind of annoying. But if you light him right, I feel like especially just in the dark, he'll look really creepy.
Yeah, I think he'll look really good, especially in the dark when there's not big white lights like their stock photos.
Yeah, like no studio lights, stuff like that.
Yeah. And then we found out today you can take the clothing off. So if you want to show more of his sculpt,
you can. His instruction setups, there's pictures. He doesn't have clothes for some reason in the instructional setup. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's just like a cursed photo. It's so weird.
Yeah, he looks pretty weird without clothing, so I definitely recommend using it.
Oh, definitely.
You can take it off. So he's got the LCD eyes, he has moving mouth, and he looks up and howls, and his price is $400.
Now, it is all plastic, but $400 is a lot of kind of steep for like some of the 12-footer compared to 12-footers that we've seen, I feel.
Yeah. And I was thinking it was okay because it was the only moving giant prop from Home Depot, but then they released the 12-foot witch, and she's with the same amount of motion, so it's kind of weird. I still love him. I still got him. But he is pretty expensive.
And then with 15 foot having the fans too, which we'll get into later. It just, I don't know, with him also being 400, it's just kind of weird. Next up, we have my personal favorite, and I know a lot of other people's personal favorites, the hovering witch. This thing is just amazing.
It's incredible. Such a unique concept. Totally improves the 12-foot design.
Oh yeah.
Not just standing, it's floating, and everyone's been wanting a witch, and a lot of people denied that because of it just be weird if it was a 12-foot tall. So Home Depot really took that to the next level for only $300, and it moves.
Amazing price tag.
Yeah. Head turning, mouth moving, eyes move with the LCD screens. So really, really good price tag for everything there.
Now, I feel like a lot of people are going to hate on the mouth movement because it's just like the slit in her mouth. But from that distance, you're not going to notice that. And it's going to look really cool from the distance.
Yeah. And a latex head would be pretty difficult with something like that because they are meant to be completely weatherproof. And also it's big. So mouth movement will look better with the plastic. And it looks pretty realistic from what we've seen. So pretty happy with that.
Now, she's one that both of us got, so stay tuned on both of our channels for demos and setups and stuff like that for her.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be a fun one to make a video on.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just that optical illusion type effect where it looks like she's flying is so cool.
The effect really works. She has lights built into her too, so she has internal lighting on her face and body, so really full all around awesome prop.
The lights also were an amazing touch. I really like that they went and added that on so you could see her up in the dark.
Yeah.
Next up, we have another very big showstopper this year, the 15-foot towering phantom. Now, Brick, this is all you. You love this guy.
Yeah. This is my personal favorite of the year and probably of all time for retail. 15 feet is just insane. This is bigger than stuff we see in the pro industry, which is crazy. It is matched up with their like Scare Factory stuff, Dark Zone stuff that we never expected to see in the retail industry. So that's really impressive. 15 feet is crazy. $400. Although it is just metal and cloth, it makes sense. It's a huge prop and it's always well built with Home Depot. So I'd say it's definitely worth it. The lighting is cool, although we don't really know if you can change the coloring yet. It might just be a steady flow.
Yeah, I'm really hoping you could like either set a color or have it on that transition mode, because I think the kind of changing looks kind of weird.
Yeah, he does have a weird change. So hopefully you can set one color. If not, I think it'll still be really impressive. This guy is so much taller than anything we've seen. Compared to like there is a photo of him and the 12-foot witch. It's a huge difference. It's a very noticeable difference. And he's also wide as well. So overall, he's going to be a really impressive one.
Oh, yeah.
And now let's cover the fans that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah. So he's got fans in his arms, which also add on to like justifying for his price point.
Yeah.
Which just give it, let's say it's just not a windy day, it'll give him like a wind blowing effect. And I think that was a cool touch.
Yeah,
I
totally.
think that'll look cool.
It's rare to use this inside because you need a very big room for this. If you're using it inside just in a place that doesn't have wind, it will really look cool because it'll always be moving. So even though it doesn't technically have movement, it kind of does with the fans.
It's still got that motor, you know? So that adds to the price point. And there's two of them,
Yeah, it looks like there's one in each arm. Yeah.
And another really good thing, you know, he is wind tested. All of the 12-foot props are wind tested. So there's a low chance, unless there's that big of wind, like a hurricane type of storm, and just average weather wind, they'll be fine.
Yeah. If you guys want, there are actual setup instructions on the site so you can see how he's built already. He
awesome.
has a similar base to 12-foot skeleton, although he has 6 poles around it instead of just 4, so better already. He has supports going up to the legs, and he will probably have the wire tethers going up to around his body or shoulder area just to keep him even more steady. And they tested all these, so they're gonna hold up, and they are all rainproof too, so you can actually keep them out in rain.
Now, besides the fact that he kind of has a cheesy looking face, at the same time it does look cool, especially from the 15 feet distance. In the dark, it's gonna be something that's just gonna look amazing and probably really gonna scare and just creep out a lot of guests at like a haunt.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be an awesome one with an audience reaction.
Very impressive, very impressive. And I can't wait to see what else Home Depot will do with the 12 or 15-foot line. Like, I can't wait for future years. Like, who knows? Next year we might get like a 20-foot prop, which that's gonna be crazy. If not next year, within the next couple years, I could see it. It's insane. All right, next up we have the 6-foot animated Dean the Deathologist. He's not what a lot of people expected. When he first leaked, I thought he was going to have that kind of like floating faucet type of effect where water was actually going to come out of the bottle. But now that we're seeing him, it's just kind of like a cheesy light coming out and really bummed me out. Like, I really like the concept and the design of him, and he is, only $100, I believe?
I think it's $99 on the site right now, so good price.
Yeah, for what this is, it's a pretty decent price, but I would have preferred if it had an actual water pouring effect. That would have looked insane. That would have been an awesome, really cool effect. And imagine if he had like a servo head. That would have been really cool too. But
be really cool.
He had potential. He could have been better. Not the best. Like I said, I really do still like his design. I like the clothes that he has. He's got a lot of like little details to add to the bartender look.
The thing I don't really like about him though is because he is a bartender, he fits a pretty specific theming. Unless
Yeah.
you're just gonna put him on your porch, there's really no place for him. Like, I like his look. He's pretty detailed. He's got looks like good quality design. If he had that flowing water, I'd want him, but I don't know where you something like this. So it kind of needs a specific theme compared to the others.
I guess I could kind of see him being used. Maybe like some restaurants decorate their restaurants for Halloween, or like, you know, maybe for like a Halloween party, it would be good. But for not necessarily really for a haunt. He really, it'd have to be very specific to fit him into a haunt. But for like a restaurant or like a Halloween party, that'd be a pretty good spot for him.
At a good price too. So
yeah. I guess that's why they did that, you know, for more of that purpose and not for home haunters in a way, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's more for the average person that just wants a cheap prop to add to their ambiance. All right, next up we have the 3-foot animated LED pumpkin twins. Now, these guys have been reskinned, like, what is this, like the 3rd or 4th time now, I think? Every year for the past couple years, they've been making, like, a new...
3rd time now.
Version. Yeah, I think it was 3rd time.
There's the 2 last year that were sold at Home Depot, 2 from this year from Party City, and now these 2 that are sold.
About the Party City ones.
So yeah, lots of them. They're a cool concept where they talk back and forth. A lot of people like that. It uses that technology where one goes, does his movement, and then the other one goes, does that movement. So cool concept, but it's small and definitely a child-friendly prop. So would go more in a kid-friendly type haunt.
Yeah, it'd be nice for like one of those like kiddie like corn mazes and stuff like that, pumpkin picking type of areas.
Yeah.
But if you're it's not gonna scare anyone. Something like this isn't made to scare. They've got like cheesy voice lines which, you know, fit what they're for. The lines fit what they're made for. They're not made to be creepy or anything.
Yeah.
They're just made for something fun.
Kind of like the bartender. You kind of have to have this type of and then they work perfect. They're a really cool prop if you do a kid-friendly display.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'd really. I love their design too, and we don't. I forget the exact price, but I'm pretty sure they're around about $100 for both, like in total, which is pretty solid for like 2 animatronics.
Yeah,
even though they're short.
One move too.
Yeah, they both have mouth movement, so I think they're pretty much worth. I'd say they're worth it.
Yeah, I'd say they're worth it.
All right, next up we have the 5.5 15.
I want a 50-foot cauldron witch.
Imagine. All right, next up we have the 5.5-foot animated cauldron witch. Now, at first thought when we saw the video, we saw that it was $250 just for a cauldron witch, and we were looking at the video without any audio at first, and they look static. But then we turned the audio on, which, you know, it's kind of smart to do. And we saw, it says that they have a moving mouth, side-to-side torso movement, and like the cauldron spins. Kind of like she's stirring the cauldron. Kind of just like any other cauldron witch. But they had like it looked like, what was it, like a resin inside the bowl.
Inside the cauldron, usually there's nothing. Usually the broom goes down and it fogs, covering up that mechanism. But this one actually has like a resin topper to make it look like there's actual water. So that's really cool. And if that spins, it's going to look like they're actually stirring a liquid. So it actually looks really cool.
I'm really upset that they're broken in the demo.
Yeah, like, it's confusing because the whole time we thought they were static, and $250 for statics, really, that just doesn't make sense. Even though they're detailed, they are around 5 feet tall, so you're not getting much for that price. But with a moving cauldron, when they stir it, moving mouths and body turning, that seems really good.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good deal. You're getting 2 animatronics plus the cauldron, and everything looks really detailed, including that liquid.
Now, their faces are detailed, but at the same time do kind of seem a little deformed in some positions and some places in the video. The faces do kind of look kind of goofy. But still, if it like has that resin, that would be a really cool touch, and that's something I really hope I'll get to see like in stores. And I'm really excited for that, especially since it's just not working in the demo video. But if you wanted something bigger than that, yes, it has a lot of movement, but $50 more will get you the 12-foot witch, which is just honestly kind of cooler. I'm not saying this isn't cool. If it doesn't have the resin and it's just the way it looks in the video, that'll be really disappointing, and I don't know if it'll be worth it. But if it does, it's a really cool, like, professional type look that a retail prop might have, which is really cool. It's really cool that we're starting to see more professional stuff in the retail, like, business at a reasonable price too.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like how she's stirring with a bone. I don't know. I feel like we've probably seen that before, but
I don't.
I'm trying to think if we have.
Although,
it seems like something we should have seen, but I can't think of something specifically that we have seen stirring with a bone, which I think is a cool touch. I like that.
Is the bone like the entire?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's a big bone. What the heck? It's like a 12-foot skeleton.
They just ripped it off a 12-foot skeleton.
Literally.
All right. Next up, we have the 7-foot animated Teary the Clown. Now, at first look, I thought he was gonna be cool. He's got I like his clothing. His face is kind of like the witch's, where it just kind of looks a little deformed and just doesn't look right. But another thing is, we were looking at some of the pictures of him, and he looks tilted, like he's leaning forward. But he's got like that Mr. Howl type of mech, which is kind of weird. It seems like in the video, I guess maybe he's with Teary the Clown, maybe he's like bending over to cry or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what the concept was.
But his head,
he's tilted like naturally. It's kind of like the Morris props this year, how they were kind of already tilted off of their base. And Home Depot is usually really good quality, so it probably won't snap, but it's still a bit weird because if you look at the side view, he is really at an angle without even being in his down position. So it is kind of weird to see. This is Fergus, for anyone confused. They changed the name recently. I don't know why it just changed, but I think he's okay. He definitely had more potential. A while ago when we didn't see any movement or anything, we thought he might have LCD eyes because it looked like he did, but just red glowing eyes. We thought he could be servo, but he's not, and he has a latex head, like Haunt World was talking about, that does get deformed. So it had potential. I don't know. I don't really like this one. He is 7 feet tall, so pretty big prop. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people like it.
I mean, like, I don't hate him completely. He's not the worst we've ever seen. But, I don't know. There's just something about him that just seems off, that I just don't like. I think it's something in with the face that just doesn't... It kind of looks weird and, like, cheap and cheesy, his face. I do like the makeup, kind of. But at the same time, it does just look painted.
Yeah.
Like his teeth and stuff like that.
I agree with the face. I think the clothing is great on him, and if you guys have seen the prototype images, his prototype was a lot more colorful. The darker look definitely looks cool. But I think they could have played along with that look a bit more with the flowers. People were talking about maybe the fog coming out of the flowers, but he doesn't even have fog. So that was rumored that I thought would have been really cool, but turns out it's not true. It'd be cool to have something like that though, playing on that dark look. I wonder, I haven't seen any of his phrasing. His phrasing might do that, but yeah, the clothing looks good. Everything else is kind of for him. Yep.
Now he is $200, which I mean honestly really isn't that bad for a 7-foot prop with a movement like that. It's pretty solid, but just hoping that he doesn't snap, like from leaning forward. And hopefully he's not too like front heavy from leaning where he'll break. That's just the biggest issue it seems like he might have.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got the 6-foot animated faceless scarecrow. Now, I kind of have mixed feelings about this guy. I really do like the mechanism. It's literally just flaming scarecrow but with both arms. But I do kind of like it with both arms. It gives me like a more of a jump scare version of Looming Strawman from Spirit Halloween. But at the same time, the look of him, I'm not a big fan of the clothing. It
Yeah,
just doesn't.
pretty bare. The face looks cool close up, but everything about him is kind of bland. 130 though, that's a pretty good price.
Yeah, for the
For
2 arm movements.
um, and does he probably has audio then too?
Yeah.
And his lights up as well. So you're getting a good amount of stuff and an okay amount of detail for that price. And then yeah, I think the jump scare will get people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Be tall, so it'll be average height for your crowd. So yeah.
Now it is a quick jump scare, so just like Flaming Scarecrow, you'd have to watch out about him like actually hitting you, because that wouldn't be too fun, hitting a guest. But like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the robe either.
Yeah, his
like,
color scheme's a bit weird for a scarecrow. And then yeah, the robe looks a bit weird, but I don't know. I think Scarecrow fans will be happy with him. I don't really use Scarecrow props in my haunt, but I think his jump scare would be fine on a crowd. And for the price, a jump scare is pretty good for that price.
Honestly, something I could have seen myself buying, but I already have Flaming Scarecrow plus Looming Strawman, so I really don't have a need for him. Like, they're already two, like, it's just such a similar idea and concept and execution for all of them, that I really just don't have a reason to have a third version of that. But yeah, 130, once again, really not that bad of a price. Comparing, I think, Flaming Scarecrow was 100, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So for the extra arm, really not that bad.
I do think Flaming Scarecrow was probably more worth it with the amount of detail.
Yeah, he did have a lot more detail, true.
So I'd say if they bring back Flaming at any places, go for him. I'm not sure if he's coming back anywhere. He was sold around everywhere. So not just a Home Depot exclusive. So he might be coming back. If he does, I'd recommend him instead. Yeah. My friend has him, so I've seen him a lot. I think he's really cool. His jump scare is fast, and his jump scare looks to be a bit bigger. His arm definitely looks longer than this guy. But both good, especially for the price.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we got the 6-foot Spirit Twins pair. Now, these guys, honestly, aren't too bad. They're cheap, they're cheesy, they're only $100, but if you get 2 of them, we've seen stuff at a worser value at more expensive prices. So honestly, this really isn't too bad. Like I said, you're getting 2 props with it, 2 6-feet characters. Apparently they like sing a song or something like that, a creepy song. I really like the lighting on them. It looks cool. Not something I would necessarily buy.
Can you give us an example song?
Oh yeah. Their audio goes kind of like, ah.
Amazing. I think I'll buy them now.
It's like an exact representation of how their audio was sounding in the video. I quit. I'm done with this video. See ya. Peace.
We have to put these guys are pretty cool. I like the realistic vibe of the ghosts. They're not like a cheesy face or anything. It's just a fantastic look. And the LEDs do correspond. They've got the wire that goes between them, so they do go one after the other, which is kind of cool. They're both 6 feet, and they both can be split apart, so you can have these 2 matching ghosts at different areas. What they're showing in the video is that they can also be on different heights, so you can put them different areas. They still correspond, so that's pretty cool. For $100, I know I've seen a lot of people love these, and they really do look like they're floating. I haven't looked close, but I don't know how they work, where they're standing or hanging. I don't know.
So basically, it was like kind of like one of those cheesy like fake Christmas tree type of bases where it's like at a T, where it comes to like a T at the bottom. So as long as you have the bottom of it covered like they do in the video, in the dark you really won't see the black pole going up. So it kind of does camouflage nice with it, I feel.
Okay.
And gives them a nice floating vibe to it. And the like cloth goes down a decent amount where it just really covers it. Nice little transition right there at the beginning. On the 6-foot animated standing witch. Now, she is 6 feet tall. I believe around $100. I couldn't find her on the website.
Yeah, she sold out really fast. She's one of
Yeah,
the first. So I think she was around $100, which is fair. 6 feet tall, mouth moves, head moves. People were expecting her to be a lunging prop, kind of like the vampire from Spirit, but it really doesn't do too much. For $100 though, makes sense. She's not too detailed, but she is a witch, so not too much detail you can give her. The movement's good for that price though.
it's got a cheesy puppet mouth, which I really don't like.
Yeah.
Um, Not
She has a
really.
Panic Creations vibe for sure. I don't know who makes her, but it does look like
Yeah,
Panic.
I'd if I were to bet, I'd probably say
Oh, you
them.
know what? No, actually, I think it might be Techie.
Really?
Those eyes look
Okay,
Techie.
true. She's not something I'd get. There's better witches out there. This is clearly for more of like a budget type of haunt. For someone, a beginner haunter, looking for something cheap, nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, it's not something I'd get. It's just too cheap and cheesy for me. Next up, we've got the 4-foot animated goblin, which honestly, a lot of people hated on him at first, but seeing his video and what he does, I really like. He's starting to grow on me. He's cool.
For $150, this is a really, really good prop. He's got head movement, mouth movement, and a jump scare. He pulls the skeleton out of the bag. And this is super unique. We have never seen anything like this. This is incredible. I love this. We don't see goblin props like at all.
Yeah, the goblins are very rare. I think the last goblin prop might have been like Poppin' Goblin from Spirit. Like at least the last main one, which was how many years ago? That was old.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
So we don't see many, and they totally blew this out of the park. This is amazing. I really like this guy. He was definitely hated on at first because of his looks, and his head's a bit cheesy. I don't know his phrasing.
Yeah,
He could have well.
He's got that like kid-friendly look to him. I feel not too scary, but still really cool.
I think scarecrow though. I really like the idea of him showing the crowd something he's got. Like he looks around at the crowd first and then pulls it out.
Like he's talking to the crowd. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think the jump scare will have an effect on the crowd as well. So I think overall he's a really cool prop.
Honestly, I'd say it's up there with one of my favorite Home Depot props for the year. It's just something original, different, unique, and cool, and will, like Brooke was saying, will get a good jump scare.
Yeah, and his body form is actually really realistic. 4 feet tall makes sense for how crouched over he is. So
I love the hunchback too. I love how he's crouched over. It's just like another added little detail that they had to him, which just looks really cool.
Yeah, and I really like how Home Depot does that, where every angle you're at, because they know people are going to be at different angles viewing, it looks good. And the head turning really helps with that too, because he's looking at the full crowd. Overall, proud.
I also really like his clothing. It's like really detailed. The whole thing is honestly pretty detailed, especially for, once again, being 150. It's really not that bad.
I cannot believe that thing is 150. Yeah. I definitely want him, even though I don't know where I'd use him. So I'm not sure if I'll get him. At the restock, it'll definitely be tempting because 150 is such a good price for something like this.
He's really cool. All right, next up we got 2 new Oogie Boogie props, which I'm really hyped for. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. We have the 3-foot Oogie Boogie, who is $50, and then the 6-foot Oogie Boogie, who is $230. And for both of them, honestly, I'd say are pretty worth it, both being a licensed prop and both having movement. Now, the little one only has mouth movement, but the giant one has side-to-side plus mouth movement. And the side-to-side just really looks cool on him. I like it. It fits him really well.
And I think the mouth movement is good on both. We really haven't seen any animatronic Oogie Boogies, only inflatables. So for Christmas fans, this is great. It can totally pair well with the Jack and Sally that were sold from Home Depot as well. So I think people will really like this one.
In the future, I'd love to see like a mayor animatronic from Nightmare Before Christmas where like his head will spin. I've always thought that would be a cool, awesome animatronic that a company could easily make. But
I think, Home Depot could
I could see Home Depot doing something like that. But it's nice seeing a lot of different characters from Nightmare Before Christmas, because a lot of times we usually just get like the one main character, but like we've got Jack, Sally, now Oogie Boogie. It's really cool that they're going more into like the side characters with the movies. I love he's holding the dice, you know, just that little detail, just his classic dice that he's got.
Yeah, cool details. Again, with the theming, obviously a lot of people love this because of the Nightmare Before Christmas trend being such a big type of thing for Halloween. But then people who don't have that can't really get something like this for a normal haunt. I think a lot of people will like it. A lot of people will like it but can't get it because of that theming issue. But overall, I think this guy will go great with the other two Nightmare Before Christmas props, and they also sell a lot of side decor, which I think they're advertising as well. So Home Depot's good at that stuff. When there is a license, there's a lot with that license.
And it's nice with Nightmare Before Christmas because you have an excuse to, you know, leave out the props till Christmas time too, because it goes for both Halloween and Christmas. It's a perfect excuse.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have the 6-foot animated Illuminated Wizard Halloween animatronic. Now,
wow.
Long name, very long name, Home Depot. But this guy is $200. And honestly, I think he's really cool. He's only got the mouth movement. He's got a really realistic looking face, which I do like. I do feel like $200 is a little steep just for the mouth movement. It's got, you know, the light up eyes and the light up wizard ball, whatever it's called. I love the staff. I just love the overall look of him.
Yeah, me too. I've heard that his quality is great too. His clothing is like really pro, they said. Probably similar to Dark Angel with that really nice fabric. So that's nice to see, definitely for the price. A good quality prop. His face sculpt looks great, really good sculpt. I like that the beard covers up that mouth movement so it looks more realistic. And then also, yeah, like you mentioned, the staff is really cool. It plays on that Harbinger of Hell type look where the light comes through the plastic, making it really magical and really cool. Then he does have that spirit ball. And overall, his look just is really cool. Again, with the theming issue, he doesn't fit too many haunt themes. But overall, he looks really cool.
I have to say, overall, I really do love his color scheme. It really fits very well. I love the blue and purple. It looks amazing together. And I love the blue eyes. I really don't like light up eyes too much, but the blue eyes just look really cool with him. Well, everyone, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on all the props in the comments down below. What's your favorite? What do you guys think of them? I purchased the 15-foot Phantom and 12-foot Witch, so stay tuned for a video on that. Brick got a whole ton. Got the Inferno Pumpkin, 15-foot Phantom, 12-foot Witch, 10-foot Werewolf. He's got them all. He got all of them. So if you guys want to check out demos and stuff like that on them setups, make sure to go check him out on his channel. I know you guys are all probably subscribed to him, but if you haven't, check his channel out. Thanks for being in the video, Brick. This was a great one. And obviously, happy birthday, Ryan. Any last words, Brick?
Yeah, happy birthday, Ryan. Home Depot did great this year. Super happy with their lineup. Definitely let us know what you guys think. But yeah, there it is.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ryan. Peace out. It seems like they just have the type of audio. You know what I'm saying?
That's a perfect outro.